Welcome this evening to the Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen with Chef Stephanie Rose. In my home, I am just delighted to have you all here. It's a special day. You know, March 31st is it's my mother's birthday. So it just is very appropriate that I do this recipe because I actually wrote this recipe with her in mind because I know it would be something that she would absolutely love. And you know, she's definitely been one of my inspirations over the years to cook. And so, hey, Mom, happy birthday. So let's get started. Wash your hands. I've already washed mine about 14 times today. So make sure your hands are clean. Make sure you've got a nice clean knife. We're not going to be doing a lot of chopping. Get your asparagus out. There's lots of different tricks with asparagus. This one's a little bit wonky. You kind of want them to be a little bit firm, but okay, yeah, that one's a little bit better. And you can either just lop off like I already did. Some people even keep them in the rubber bands and cook them in the rubber bands, but I do not. So just sort of gather them all up and cut off maybe 2 inches of the bottom, because you really don't want that woody, stemmy, chewy, fibrous thing that's down here. Oh gosh, here's another limp one. Well, let's just hope these guys perk up when I cook them. Another way to do it is bending it, and where it snaps that's the woody, and you can get rid of that. Okay. Where it snaps, but sometimes I just think maybe it snaps off a little bit too much. So I like to cut it. So I'm going to cut. I've already done some, and I do want to cut off the beautiful tops. Okay. I like to cook the top part. I like to blanch that separately. So you can either just break it off, or you can snap it, or you can cut it. So I'm just going to break those off. I find that the tops cook a little bit faster than the bottoms. So I'm going to do kind of 2 separate blanchings. So go ahead. These are kind of snapping off nicely. So go ahead and snap away. Beautiful. I just hope they don't turn brown. And if they look really woody and shriveled up, that means they're kind of old, but they shouldn't, because they're in season. If not, they're certainly coming into season right now. I love to be seasonal. It's spring. Spring is in the air, so they say. I don't know. It's just all kinds of weird stuff in the air. I don't think the weather knows what it wants to do. So, I mean, doesn't have to be 1.5 inches exactly, or 1 inch, whatever works for y'all. And I have some Parmesan cheese that I actually already grated, which is great. I don't normally buy pre-grated cheese for many reasons. I like to grate my own. I recommend that everybody grates their own, because if you looked on the container, it has all kinds of other stuff in it. Anti-caking, starch, cellulose. I think that's wood. So I stopped buying that. And I tell everybody, if you can, just do a little, it doesn't melt as well. And frankly, it doesn't taste as nice either. And you usually get a better deal when you're buying a whole chunk, right? So I always like a good deal. Okay, so now I'm going to put it into a pile. Make sure it's a manageable pile for you. Don't, if you want to just do a small pile, take your time. There's no rush. And I just want to make sure you're holding your chef knife, or whatever knife that you have is fine. You could use a paring knife. I'm, no judgy here. I just don't really recommend a serrated knife. Can't really sharpen them either. And, if you accidentally cut yourself on the serrated one, that's an owie. Rip Rip, not good. No bueno. Anywho, so we call it the pinching the blade technique. You put your thumb on the blade carefully. Make sure it's pointing away from you. The blade's pointing away from me, the tip away from me. Put your thumb on this side, right down near the handle, and then you're going to put your other pointer finger on the other side. So straddling it, words are hard, and then wrap your other fingers around the handle, and hopefully it's comfortable for you. And this is really the standard, handling of the knife, okay, to be safe. And now I'm just going to cut these into, like 1 inch chunks. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's all going to go in the same place, right? Make sure your water's on, because this recipe is going to go pretty quickly, y'all. Oh, look at all the pretty colors. Lots of yellow. I was so excited. I found this lovely yellow pot. So all the stems are going into the stems bowl. And I've got all of my tips in another bowl. And you can go ahead and get these done. Let's see how my water's doing back here. It is not at a rolling boil, because this is not my power burner. So I'm going to move my pasta. I'm going to move my pasta one back. Move this one front. Make sure you have your bowl. Where is it? Your ice bath, okay? This is my ice bath right here. It's in a metal bowl. Got the ice, and then I have water in it. So it's because after we blanch these, we get them cooked and nice and crispy. We want to dump it into this ice bath. It's going to get chilled. We want the cooking to stop, and then it turns a beautiful color. And it stays that way, Brown asparagus, just, they don't look that good. I mean, if you wanted, lost one. It might be kind of tasty to grill these too. That's a thought. And I know when you're grilling or steaming, if you have the capability to steam them, that retains more of the nutrients. So that's always a preferred way, to cook any of your vegetables, to retain the nutrients, all that good stuff, Oh yeah, okay, so this is coming along fine. I'm gonna go ahead. It's boiling. I'm gonna just dump the little pieces in first. I'm doing it in a sieve, you can see, because that way I can keep them separate. So let me put my pasta water back on. Let's keep that warm. While that's cooking, it won't take long, so don't let me get carried away. I want to get my tarragon chopped up. So I have this beautiful tarragon. So exciting. Don't really want to chop up the stems, but I want to cut up the tender, top part of the stems, where the leaves sort of are flowering. You could totally cut those up, kind of like thyme. Oh, I love this. Ooh. Okay, that's boiling nicely. Maybe just rip it all off. There's no wrong way to do this. I want a nice tablespoon of this, because it is kind of potent, so I don't think you want to use too much. And I'm going to save a little bit out here for some garnish. So I think that's looking like a good amount. Let me check my check. I may have to eat one just to make sure. Okay, a little more. Beautiful. Uh-oh. I have a lovely assistant here. It's hot. Uh-oh. Ice bath. Hello. She's in control of the overhead camera. She's doing a great job. It's actually my daughter. All right, so let me put the other ones in here. Great. Those are beautiful. They are cooled off. Now I'm going to put the rest of them. Voila. So they may take a little bit longer, no problem. And now I'm going to wad up my pile of leaves. This is how I like to do it. Grab my knife. And I see how I have my other hand with the, all I'm getting are my knuckles and my fingers. I know it looks really weird. It's the claw are curled under like that. Okay. And then I wad it up, scrunch, and then I scooch. Scrunch, 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 scooch, scooch, scooch. And sometimes I'll do a little sweep carefully, wipe. It's not like garlic, so it's not sticking too bad. Again, now the only other time I change my grip a little bit is when I'm doing, the chopping. So I will relax my hand on the handle and loosen it up, and then I'm going to put my other hand on the tip just to sort of keep it down on the cutting board, and then go back and forth. I said this doesn't need a lot, and that is perfect. Just the perfect amount. Get that in a bowl. Beautiful, beautiful. This is going to be a beautiful, what it's going to feel like is a rich, creamy, decadent sauce on our pasta. Okay, now I've made a little bit of a mess. So let's clean this off. I hope my clean towel. Hope my boil's coming. My water's coming back up to a boil. Come on, baby. Make sure my pasta water is still on. Pasta really doesn't take long to cook. And we're just going to, yes, dear?
There's a question.
Oh, there's a question.
Don't have tarragon. Do you have any other suggestions for what to use?
If you don't have fresh tarragon or dry tarragon, well, I thought some rosemary actually might be a nice combination in this recipe. Thyme, what goes with lemon, what goes with, well, lemon thyme, right? I mean, that would be really cool, but regular thyme is fine, dried or fresh, but never poo-poo the parsley, y'all. You can always use parsley, fresh or dried. It's always out there. I prefer Italian, but my shopper brought me the curly. It was a little wilted, but parsley is wonderful because, again, it's full of wonderful nutrients. So rosemary, thyme, yes, rosemary, thyme is fabulous. All right, we got a good boil going on over here. I can see some of them are turning a little bit brown, which means maybe they weren't so fresh. I'm just shaking them up. Let me taste one. Oh, actually, really nice, really sweet, really delicious. Sometimes I use this. It's one of my favorite tools to use because then you don't have to dump out the water and you can just scoop everything out. I'm actually probably going to use this with my pasta. All right, these are beautiful. Beautiful. And they've turned nice and bright green. Definitely got a lot of bright spring colors. Okay, now we need to blanch them. So I'm going to go right into the ice bath. Don't you love that? And now you can see there's some here that have turned a not so pretty color, which I can take them out because they may be a little bit bitter. So just take them out because I want it to look pretty. When your plate looks pretty, people want to eat it. All right, here's another brown one. See? So these ones are not as nice and bright as that. Okay. So get rid of those. You don't have to. I mean, they probably still taste fine, but I knew some of these were a little bit floppy, as you could see, but there we go. Beautiful. Most of them, at least, are beautiful and bright and green. taste test. Yeah, I mean, they don't even taste bad. All right, so this is perfect. Perfect. Put those aside. Fabulous. I'm actually done with this pot. I am done with that. My ice bath, get rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of this water. Say goodbye. And now I'm gonna get my saucy sauce started. So I have another pot here. It's really cute. One that has a yellow interior. Look at that. Is that not adorable? Hard to find a pot that actually has a different color on the inside and then a little yellow lid. Love it. So turn that on. Let's start with low. Get your tablespoon of margarine. And so basically we're kind of doing a little bit of a roux that's going to help thicken our sauce, and that's going to make it rich and creamy. Okay, come on. I want to get my pasta water going. So I guess I'll pull that back over here. We have a lot of musical burners today. Not in a real rush because I kind of want to get my sauce going first. Melt that butter. I wish it was butter, but it's not because we're being heart healthy here. Let's move my knife. I think we're almost done with cutting everything up already. Hope I don't forget anything. Not too many ingredients. So didn't think about this. It's kind of hard to see the margarine melting in there. I hope there's not too much glare, but it's melting. There it goes. Can't believe tomorrow is April 1st, y'all. Hope you have a fun day planned. Okay, 2 tablespoons of flour. Dump that in. Come on. Get out. It's stuck. There we go. If you wanted to use whole wheat flour, that would be fine too. If you're gluten intolerant, I've done a lot of these roux with, oh goodness, not the almond flour, but a rice flour works really well. I've made gumbos for my sister with the rice flour, and I was very happy with that. So we're just going to cook it a little bit because I want to get some of that floury flavor out. And it actually would probably be better if I added my broth into this when the broth was warm. Would you mind grabbing me a small spatula? I mean, a whisk, sweetheart? From the whiskey. Might need to whisk my liquid in here because we don't want any lumps, right? Yeah, that's great. Thank you, darling. So it says about, a can of low sodium chicken broth. If you want to use vegetable broth, that is absolutely fine too. Just make sure whatever you use is low sodium, okay? That is the key. And hey, if you've made your own, that's even better. So let's go ahead and add this. This is actually my first time using this. Wonderful. Put my cheat sheet here. I may actually turn this up a little bit. We want it kind of rolling. What happened to my, okay, turn that back on. Now I'm going to actually start doing some of my lemon zest right now. Okay. So make sure your lemons, don't have that lovely sticker on them, which really is annoying. Get rid of that. And make sure they're clean. And this has a beautiful yellow color. Now I like to, as you can see, it sort of has a little rubber thing, holds on to your cutting board. And oftentimes I'll rest the other end against my body, grip the lemon pretty well with your hand. And if you can, sometimes people just go straight up and down. I try to kind of go along the lemon, okay? And get that zest off. This was a little bit bigger than I normally use. You don't want to like saw it down and get past the skin into the white pithy part, because that's a bit bitter. We don't want bitter. So it may not be the whole one. I think we only need a teaspoon of this. I think it's just, wonderful to be able to use the outside, the skin, and get all of those fabulous antioxidants that are, in there into our body. I think that's going to be good. I probably should have used a little bit of a finer zester. But that's okay. There's usually some in the bottom. Try to just get that out with your finger. Now whisk, whisk, whisk. Keep an eye on your sauce. Once it starts thickening up, you definitely want to stir it. So here we go. Oh, there's a little more flour there. All right, actually, I think that's just about the perfect amount. It smells delicious. Now, if you ever need to get that garlicky scent off your hands, lemon is the way to go. Delicious. Just smells fresh and delish. Okay, it looks like it might be cooking. This is good. Like I said, want to try to get that up to a boil. I'm trying to get my pasta back up to a boil too. Okay, added my broth. I know the recipe says to add some of your pasta liquid. Just hold off on that, but do save like half a cup, because in case we need it, to be a little more liquidy, or if it gets too thick, we can add a little bit of the pasta water at the end as needed. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to wait for it to thicken. And then when it does, I'm going to add the zest. I'm going to add the goat cheese, just 2 ounces of goat cheese, because there's a lot of sodium in cheese. So just 2 ounces. You can get it, you can get the 4-ounce blocks or the 8-ounce blocks. So basically it's just half of that smaller block. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, it's coming up to a boil. I'm very happy about that. And then I'm going to add my peas, half a cup of peas. Yes, I did try to find some fresh, sweet English peas, but they were nowhere to be found. Got the tarragon, that's going to be going in my sauce. Okay, this is coming to a boil. Now, my big dilemma was what pasta to use. I do love pappardelle, but I want to be true, and I'm just going to add, a box of pasta is usually a pound. So I'm going to do the whole wheat spaghetti, because you know what? When the sauce is all on it, who's going to know, right? And this is so much better for you. My daughter's saying she's going to know. No, you won't. If you didn't hear me say this, you wouldn't know. So whatever you do, don't break the pasta. Oh my heavens. Just don't do that. That's just verboten. It'll come down when it's ready. Okay. Just take the spoon, push it in, get your tongs. My sauce is boiling. I'm very happy. All right, get in here, pasta. Now, how long does this pasta take? Not long, right? I'm hoping my sauce will thicken up. Get in here. How long does the pasta cook, Nana? Any ideas?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. So do we want the whole 8 minutes? Let's put my timer on for 7 minutes. Turn off that back burner. Oh, no, that's front burner. Turn it down. Give it a little bit of a stir. Get in there. It's not cooperating. This is why you have to make sure you've got a big pot, right? Okay. Stir that out. I think I'm ready to add my cheese, which I did leave out. So hopefully it's soft. I may set aside a few of my, come on. Ow, ow, ow. Hot, hot, hot. Not going to add the peas just yet because it's going to make it hard to stir. Want to get the cheese incorporated, you know, and I may go ahead and add half of the 1 tablespoon of the Parmesan. Save the other half to sprinkle on top. See how that's going to work. This also might help thicken it up. Stir the pasta. Stir the pasta. Turn it back up. Of course, shoot, I always taste my pasta to see if it's done. Always, always, always. Okay, sauce.
Mm,
What's that?
smells good.
It smells good in here. So if you're cooking along, I hope it smells good in your home. It should. Okay, come on. You know, maybe we're not going to need any more liquid because this is not getting very thick. Come on, baby. Thicken up. Ball that down. All right, you can go back in. Let me go ahead and add my little bit of my tarragon. There we go. What the heck? It's just saving a little bit on the side. Okay, peas are going in. There we go. They were frozen. So actually they're going to need a little bit of time. That's great. Check my pasta. Got my pasta. This would be a nice lunch for your mother or your grandmother or, you know, somebody special to you on a Sunday or something. Makes me think of brunch.
Such as Mother's Day.
I beg your pardon?
Such as Mother's Day.
Such as Mother's Day. Okay, it looks like it's kind of thickening up. I'm happy about that. I've got it on a rolling boil, or at least I did. Pretty.
It's a rolling boil.
Very active boil. Very busy. Moving a lot. Lots of bubbles. Of course, the more I play with it, the more that's going to bring the temperature down. I don't know if y'all know that trick. You know, when your pot looks like it's going to boil over and you're like, oh no, and it's going to get all over your stove. Well, a little stir, that is the fastest way to bring that down, to, you know, make it subside at least a little bit. Of course, if it's milk, I'm never in time, and there's, you know, milk just boiling everywhere. Not a lot of stirring going on here. All right. Stirring. I can't wait to actually put the pasta in there. And I actually already have my plate ready. And we're almost ready. We're going to add these, the asparagus in last, because we really don't want them to continue cooking too much. Oh, she's one. Hopefully we'll have some left. I have to feed my moderator. Okay. Hats off to the moderator. Let's, you know, give her a big thank you. I can't get her on camera, but I am very happy that she's blessing me with her company tonight.
My presence is a present.
Her presence. Isn't it great? And you can ask a question. You know, sometimes when it's a small group, you know, if I don't have a moderator, I will, you know, you can ask me, you know, take yourself off mute and ask. Ooh, I think I want to taste that. I think it's time to taste this. Yes. Uh-oh, she's coming again. Flying hands. I know what it needs. Very nice. Very, ooh, it's getting nice and bubbly. We need some pepper. And if you don't want those black pepper flakes, you can go ahead and add some white pepper. I love pepper. You know, pepper's really good for your digestion. Okay, yeah. Keep an eye on it. Looking good, it's looking thick. Come on, pasta. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, overcooking whole wheat pasta is not very tasty. Actually, I think this pasta is ready to go into the sauce again, because it's going to keep cooking a little bit, you know, and that's the trick in the restaurants. You know, they just cook the pasta a little bit al dente, put it in the pan with the sauce, cook it a little bit more, and that way the pasta itself soaks up some of the sauce. All right, let's see if I can do this neatly. I'm going to turn this one down, move this over, and get my pasta into my sauce. Woohoo. Okay, that's it. You could do this in a serving dish if you like. I'm gonna go ahead and add I turn everything down. Getting to the finish line, y'all. Hey, timer just went off. Uh-oh, come on, there you go. Got the asparagus in. Get the rest of my pasta, and I'm actually getting some pasta water in there anyway. I'm gonna throw these guys in. Actually, I'm gonna turn it. Let me stir it. See what's. Try to get it all incorporated. Get my spoon. Fold the sauce in. Oh yeah. Add a little bit more of my Parmesan cheese. Just gonna save a little bit. Sprinkle on top. Oh yeah. Okay, hush, I hear you. And this is dinner in a half an hour, right? You know, a nice little arugula salad on the side with this. And, you know, if you really did want a protein, you could do a nice piece of poached salmon. Oh yeah, ooh la la. Add a little pink, wouldn't that be pretty? So this, it's really has absorbed a lot of the liquid. I can see, and of course, you know, we have to lick the spoon. That's a must. Oh yeah. Delicioso. I think, my goodness, I think that is the pièce de résistance, my friend. So this is such a cute little pot. You know, you could actually just take that straight to the table and serve it from that. Here I have my plate. I actually had a fork and a spoon here. See if I can get this plated to look cute. Do some fancy twirling. Get that closer up. Get on the plate. Yay. A little more. Come on. This is a lot. This is going to serve a lot of people. I think it's 4, right? So that's a big serving. So you're going to be totally satisfied. And I do want to get some more of these pieces here. More of the asparagus. Come on, that's a whole bunch of asparagus, right? Maybe one more, a little bit more. And I bet you my little one is going to try some of this because it just looks fabulous. Check that out. Maybe just a little more sprinkling of some lemon zest, a couple of pine nuts, just to give you a little bit of crunch. We have a little more of my chopped tarragon. What's left? Ooh, some more Parmesan. Ooh, okay. Maybe I should just use a little bit of the fresh Reggiano Parmigiano. Oh yeah. Sprinkle that on top. Ooh la la. That is yummy. Yummy, yummy. A couple more of those. Then we have a little garnish. Make sure all your burners are turned off. That one was not. And with just a little teeny little bit of tarragon on the top, on the side, just because it looks kind of cool. So this has been fun. Look how easy this is. This is going to be one of your hopefully go-to springtime dishes that you're going to be making on a regular basis, because look how easy it was. What you had to chop up like 2 things. I love it. I love it. I am ecstatic, and I'm really delighted that you all joined me tonight. It's just delightful having you here in the Heart Kitchen. And I know that you are all eager for us to be reopening our physical brick and mortar, which is in the works. And we have gotten the green light, and we are going to be opening hopefully by the end of April. So fingers crossed. And y'all have been such a wonderful, dedicated, group of participants, and we really love you. And if any of you would like to give us a little video testimonial, of what the Simple Cooking Heart with Kitchen has meant to you, and how it has helped you, through the last 2 years, and even prior to that, I would love it if you could just reach out to me. You can send me an email, stephanie.rose@heart.org, and I'll put you in touch with our communication director. And it's not a big deal. We all know how to do selfies, right? So you can just record a quick little selfie of yourself, and he'll tell you what you have to do. So I don't know about y'all, but I really kind of want to dig into this, but I can't, because I need to get a photograph of it before I do. And again, y'all have a great night, and love to all the mothers out there, and the grandmothers, and everyone we love. So thank you so much. Mwah. Bye, y'all. See you next time in the Heart Kitchen. Ciao, ciao, ciao.